Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Juicebox Podcast. In every episode of Bolus 4, Jenny Smith and I are going to take a few minutes to talk through how to bolus for a single item of food. Jenny and I are going to follow a little bit of a roadmap called Meal Bolt. Measure the meal, evaluate yourself, add the base units, layer a correction, build the bolus shape, offset the timing, look at the CGM, tweak for next time. Having said that, these episodes are going to be very conversational and not incredibly technical. We want you to hear how we think about it, but we also would like you to know that this is kind of the pathway we're considering while we're talking about it. So while you might not hear us say every letter of Meal Bolt in every episode, we will be thinking about it while we're talking. If you want to learn more, go to juiceboxpodcast.com/meal-bolt. But for now, we'll find out how to bolus for today's subject. Nothing you hear on the Juicebox Podcast should be considered advice, medical or otherwise. Always consult a physician before making any changes to your healthcare plan. Okay, this one surprised me. This is the number 3 vegetable on the top 10 consumed vegetables in the U.S. list. And let me see if I can tell you a little bit about it. It's the 3rd highest, and about 9.5 pounds per person in 2019 was consumed. I guess this is the last time they got these numbers. It's a staple flavor base in cooking. Not necessarily a thing most people would just eat on its own. But although I have seen people do it, of course, I don't think it's crazy. It's also another thing that I would avoid like the plague. So
it's more used as a flavoring, you said?
Yes.
Onions.
Ooh, Jenny. Well done. Onions that was awesome.
Onions and garlic are on my shopping list every single week.
Yeah.
I heavily rely on onions and garlic.
Are we going to share with everybody before we talk about onions, which, by the way, have more carbs in them than I thought they did?
Mm-hmm.
The text chain that went back and forth between you and I while I was at the grocery store. Should we tell people about that?
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, you're going to have to mute out all the laughing because honestly, actually it gave me a really funny idea for something I'll tell you about in a little later.
Okay.
But yes, our text conversation. I texted you a picture.
Yes. Jenny had a follow-up for me, but I was in the grocery store and I saw something that fried my brain. It was a plastic container that probably mimics what a large mustard container, small ketchup container would look like.
Yes.
And on the front of it, it said, "Easy onion, ready to use."
And I laughed as soon as I saw the picture. I was like, what is this?
I said it to Jenny immediately. I was like, this is not a thing Jenny would buy. So it was 9.5 ounces of what just looks like pureed onion.
It's like onions. It's like, if you're a texture person, this would it made me
horrified.
It made me horrified. Yeah.
It's onion goo is the best way I can explain it to you. But that's not really, it says it's the marketing that gets you. No peeling, chopping, or tears.
No.
If that's what's stopping you from eating an onion, first of all, the peeling, but there's a big yellow flag on the side of it. And I swear to God, it says, "Now with more chopped onion." And I thought.
And what did I text to you?
I think Jenny said, "What was in it before?" And I said, that is exactly what I was thinking too. She says, "Now with more chopped onion," as opposed to what? Slime in a bottle? Because this is what it looks like. It looks like snot in a bottle. It really does. It's terrifying.
It's gross. It's disgusting.
But anyway, if somebody out there is using it, I hope we're laughing with you. And if not, buy an onion. I don't think the chopping's as hard as you think.
I'm so sorry that we're making fun, but we're really not.
It was just really it took me by, it was the now more chopped onion, which by the way, 100%. I want to be clear. I've thought it through more than I should have in hindsight. I assume what they meant was we used to just give you the slime, but now we've put more pieces of onion in it, the chopped onion. But when you first read it, it sounds like there was something other than onion in the slime. I'm sorry, I keep calling it slime. It's horrifying if you say it. But nevertheless, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about real onions. I swear to you,
This episode should be like slimy onion.
I tried to show it to Kelly, and then I thought, why am I wasting my time? Jenny's going to find this hilarious. I'll just text it to her.
Yes, thank you.
I held it up, and I was like, Kelly, and I'm like, hey, you know what? She doesn't care about that. And I was like,
no.
Kelly's not up for fooling around about onion goo. Anyway, a raw, mature onion. Again, they say medium, but I'm guessing you're going to tell me about a cup of onion is the way we're going to want to evaluate how much it is. I have here 11 to 16 grams. I'm interested to hear what you're going to say. For
a cup of chopped onion?
Yeah, well, this has it as a medium onion.
Yeah, a medium onion, I usually say it's about 10 grams.
Okay. Does it change from onion to onion? Yellow, white, Spanish?
Vidal.
Yeah.
That's actually, I've never really looked that up. I don't eat a cup of onions at one time. So that's one that I definitely use the old rule of, it's a vegetable. You don't have to count it, because I use it again as like a seasoning in a dish or an addition. And I don't really consider the carb content.
I'm going to tell you that I didn't think we were actually going to talk about how to bolus for onions. I did bring it up, one, because you and I saw onion goo at the store, and two, because you throw them on salads or on your burger or something like that. You know, it's there. If you're already bolusing for the salad, there's nothing wrong with adding 3 or 4 carbs for the onion, like as you're going through and counting it. I just don't want people to, in my imagination, when people are jumping through and counting a meal, I think they skip a lot more than they usually do, or than they should. And it's probably a great place to say this here. I once talked about how I evaluated Arden's plate. And I would talk about how I'd be like, well, I don't know, 20, 25 for that, 10 for this. And then I'd kind of get to the end and go, I don't know, 5 more. You remember the old PDM on the Omnipod?
Oh, yeah.
You had to hold the arrow to make the carbs go up. Sometimes I'd like race to the number and try to let go on time. And I'd be like, I'm trying to get to 40 carbs. And I'd stop and it would go to 44. And I'd be like, good enough.
That looks good. Yeah.
Because why? Because most of the times when it goes wrong on the side of I didn't use enough. Like that was my finding. Yeah. You usually miss stuff when you're counting carbs. So why not if every time you bolus, you end up higher, maybe assume you're not getting the carbs right. Or maybe your settings are bad, but one way or the other, you need more. So I just don't want people to miss the onions. And,
and they were on the top list, so we had to include them.
Hey, I didn't make the list. So there they are. Okay. Please use real onions. If you don't, you know how they say, what is it? Every time a bell rings, a fairy gets their wings.
An angel gets their wings.
Is that how it is? Is that the saying?
Yes.
All right, hold on. I'm going to say that every time you buy Easy Onion, Jenny cries a little bit inside.
Yes.
No offense to the company Spice World who makes them.
No, not at all.
By the way, this led to another conversation Jenny and I had about garlic later, which I'm sure will come up at some point while we're talking about this. Again, please, if you're using garlic, just take a second and chop up the garlic.
And squash it.
Please,
exactly.
Please. Thank you. All right. God bless you all. In each episode of the Bolus 4 series, Jenny, Smith, and I are going to pick one food and talk through the bolusing for that food. We hope you find it valuable. Generally speaking, we're going to follow a bit of a formula, the meal bolt formula, MEALBOLT. You can learn more about it at juiceboxpodcast.com/meal-bolt. But here's what it is. Step 1, M, measure the meal. E, evaluate yourself. A, add the base units. L, layer a correction. B, build the bolus shape. O, offset the timing. L, look at the CGM. And T, tweak for next time. In a nutshell, we measure our meal. Total carbohydrates, protein, fat, consider the glycemic index and the glycemic load. And then we evaluate yourself. What's your current blood sugar, how much insulin's on board, and what kind of activity are you going to be involved in or not involved in? Do you have any stress, hormones, illness? What's going on with you? Then A, we add the base units. Your carbs divided by insulin to carb ratio, just a simple bolus. L, layer a correction, right? Do you have to add or subtract insulin based on your current blood sugar? Build the bolus shape. Are we going to give it all up front, 100% for a fast digesting meal, or is there going to be like a combo or a square wave bolus? Does it have to be extended? I'll set the timing. This is about pre-bolusing. Does it take a couple of minutes this meal, or maybe 20 minutes? Are we going to have to again consider combo square wave boluses and meals? Figure out the timing of that meal. And then L, look at the CGM. An hour later, was there a fast spike? 3 hours later, was there a delayed rise? 5 hours later, is there any lingering effect from fat and protein? Tweak. Tweak for next time. T. What did you eat? How much insulin and when? What did your blood sugar curve look like? What would you do next time? This is what we're going to talk about in every episode of Bolus for. Measure the meal, evaluate yourself, add the base units, layer a correction, build the bolus shape, offset the timing, look at the CGM, tweak for next time. But it's not going to be that confusing, and we're not going to ask you to remember all of that stuff. But that's the pathway that Jenny and I are going to use to speak about each bolus. Hey, thanks for listening all the way to the end. I really appreciate your loyalty and listenership. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back very soon with another episode of the Juicebox Podcast. The episode you just heard was professionally edited by Wrong Way Recording. WrongWayRecording.com.